Good evening, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. And if it's not evening where you're at, then I hope you've had an amazing day or are about to have one. Anyway, this is Ascend from the Ascend X7 channel over at twitch.tv. And we are sitting here about to watch the official reveal trailer for Call of the Wild the Angler. And if you have played the Hunter Call of the Wild, you'll know that that's a very, very visually immersive game. And a few years ago, the developers of that game teased us with making it seem like they were considering putting fishing mechanics in that game. That was something that the player base had begged them to do. And when I streamed the game, that was something that I heard over and over and over again that they would love to see added to the game. I was one of the vocal voices like begging the developers to do it. And like I said, they kind of made it seem like it was a possibility. Then they massively backtracked, and then they were like, you know what? If we do this, wouldn't it make way more sense just to make a standalone fishing game? And then they backtracked from even that statement, and then you never heard anything about it until today. Uh, June 20th, 2022, we get fantastic news. I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer. At the end of the video, I'm gonna kind of share some of my thoughts about what the game could be like, and I have a huge concern, based on over 2,000 hours of playing the Hunter Call of the Wild, and I'll show you what that concern is that could actually just kill this game right out of the box. So let's go ahead and watch a trailer and let's see what it looks like.
What is it about your hobby that keeps you coming all the way out here? Is it the freedom? Wandering in search of that perfect spot?
Okay, first thing first, this is obviously being touted as an open world game. They've said a couple things in the beginning, like come all the way out here, the freedom. Um, so this has the opportunity to give us something that I know personally I have just desperately wanted, and a lot of the people from my chat on my stream on Twitch have absolutely wanted, which is an open world fishing game that is the open world is actually traveling, not like a load screen. And I feel very confident that the developers of this game are just going to use the same model, game model that they did from the Hunter Call of the Wild, which means you get to step out of your cabin. Didn't mean to do that. Step out of your cabin, go any direction you want to, and uh, that's going to be phenomenal. But it's going to be walking simulator probably, but I'm totally down for that. So
You've made your own path through these hills, tasted the fresh water of our lakes, our rivers. You've been on the water with friends at sunrise and helped the locals long past sunset. But you just keep coming back. At this spot, you got a pretty good idea what's lurking beneath the surface. But there's only one way to find out.
I'm gonna stop for a quick second. We Let me get back to where it is.
But there's only
Okay, so we saw the first example of like the casting mechanics. I'm assuming this is early on, but that looked pretty good. That looked really good. The fishing pole model looks great. I'm not sure what's happening with the fishing line. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it looks like it's about to go haywire. But truth be told, probably what the line on my pole looks like when I'm casting a bait cast. And if it's truly like the way I cast a bait casting reel, there's gonna be a bird's nest all over that mug. So anyway, it looks cool. I love the model so far, and I love the casting mechanics.
only one way to find out. Whether it's the one you write home about or the one that gets away, that feeling is what gets you hooked.
That's very nice.
first time or your 100th time. You never know what you're gonna catch until it's caught. Call of the Wild, the Angler.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it. Actually, I want to go back to that right there.
What you're gonna catch.
I missed it again. Right.
100th time.
Okay, there. So I think the big thing that I heard over and over again is something I talked about, and I'm not going to harp on it, is open world. I think it's absolutely open world. I stopped here because there's a vehicle, which tells us hopefully we're going to get the ability to drive around the map in various vehicles. So my thought is this game is it's going to have to follow a similar mold to their prior games, like The Hunter and The Hunter Call of the Wild. And what that means to me is you're going to have various maps, and on those various maps, you're going to have different places to fish. And I already said there's lakes and rivers, so we'll have lake fishing and river fishing. We saw a few different types of, um, well, what I'm saying is we saw smooth water, and then we saw fishing and vegetation. So there's going to be different fishing environments. And for the developers of this game, um, they love to create gadgets. So the Call of the Wild, the Hunter Call of the Wild, is full of little animal calls, various different guns, multiple types of ammunition for each weapon, different scopes, and so on and so forth. So I feel like that's going to translate into us having various types of fishing poles, most likely fishing poles for um, different fish, I would assume. Not specifically like, oh, this one's for this fish, and you can only catch, this other fish on this pole, but probably based on size, like just like you would have in real life. There's going to be all kinds of different baits. I'm guessing live bait, and definitely going to be lures. And if they follow the same mold, each new DLC that comes out, it's going to be a different map with different lakes to fish on, and different species of fish, which is going to introduce new fishing poles and obviously new lures and new baits and so on and so forth. There will most likely be like a trophy room, which will be pretty cool. So you'll be able to mount your trophies. Um, so again, I think this will follow very much the Hunter Call of the Wild mold, and you're going to have like various size fish, and you will um, I would assume you would still like get money for catching a fish, which you'll then use to buy new equipment and so on and so forth. So that all that to me sounds fantastic. And just throw in the fact like I'm looking at like an open world environment, and they're using the same resources from the Hunter Call of the Wild and the same game engine most likely. Uh, and that to me is great. That's fine. I love that. And I know some people will not love that, but if you have not been inside of the Hunter Call of the Wild, trust me, as someone who's put over 2,000 hours in that game, it is visually immersive, and it's very, very, very stunning. Um, so my best case scenario for this game is that this is going to be the best fishing game ever. And I say that because their prior game, their hunting game, is by far the best hunting game ever, period. So I think there's a high degree of likelihood that this could be the best fishing game on the market. My concern is that this could be the buggiest fishing game on the market. And let me back that up, because I've played some butt cheeks bad fishing games that are just bug fest and just horrible. This is no way in the world going to be the worst fishing game. I would say worst case scenario for this game is it's going to be like top 3 best fishing games ever made. And it's just because these developers make a really great game, but they also make buggy games, like really buggy games, and they have a real difficult time getting games on multiple platforms at the same time. Like PC will get something here, Xbox will get it over here, and then good luck PlayStation, you may get it like in a few weeks. And you know, like each time they introduce a new map, they have historically found a way to crash their base game. And I personally stopped playing the Hunter Call of the Wild because it just was so frustrating with the bugs. I played it again the other day and I had like just like ducks like stuck in the ground in a flying animation, just stuck in the ground, like not going anywhere. And it was just same old thing, different day. But I'm hoping that since this game will be very different from the Call of the Wild in that most everything's happening below the surface of the water and you're not seeing the fish, that will make this game not so resource intensive and will eliminate a lot of the bugs. So I have high hopes for this. Let me know in the comments what you think. What did you like that you saw? And I know this is a very short trailer. What are your hopes for this game? What are your concerns? You know, what are your concerns about what could go wrong or could be missing from the game? I will definitely be doing a lot of content for this particular game, and I will be playing it like on launch. And as it goes through the development cycle, I'll do my best to keep everyone updated and see if I can get any sneak peeks behind the scenes and that I can share here. So anyway, I appreciate everyone. Thank you very much for checking out this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments, and I will see you next time. Later.